All right, everyone. Dr. Del Miller's here with personalfitness.com. Hope you are doing great out there. It is the end of November, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving because last week was Thanksgiving. So, welcome back to another episode of Energize Your Life After 50, and also the final episode of Energize Your Life After 50. Okay, it is time for a change. I'm not going anywhere. The podcast isn't going anywhere, but I think it's time for a change. It's time to change up again the title of the podcast. I'm always changing. I'm always growing. I'm always thinking, okay, well, what is it I'm doing here? What is this all about? And as I talk to more and more people and as I work with my clients and we figure out, well, what is it that they want and what is it that people want? And what people tell me that they want over and over again is that they are looking to create their best selves. They're looking to create the best version of themselves. And, I've had this title I've been working with for a long time, The Best You've Ever Been. I've been working with that title for a lot of years. And it's really what I think that I am really hoping to help you find at this stage in our journey together is how do you become the best you've ever been, right? Because you want to be the best you've ever been, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. People tell me that physically, I know you want to look good naked, you want to get your sexy back, don't you? Don't you? For years, for about 20 years, I had that slogan on my business card, look good naked. And, it was very catchy. And people identify because, yes, who doesn't want to look good naked, right? And then I start doing coaching with a lot of women, especially women over 50. And they kept telling me that, I want to get my sexy back. I want to feel sexy again. And I start using the title of my webinar, Get Your Sexy Back. And I've been using that for years. And the name of my webinar is still Get Your Sexy Back because, most of the women attend and that's what they tell me they want. They want to feel sexy again, right? They want to get their confidence back. So that's how I work. I change up what I'm doing, and it's time for a change. It's coming towards the end of the year, believe it or not. 2022 has gone by very quickly. We're almost in December. The end of this week will be December. So it's time to change things up. And I hope you're thinking the same thing. It's time for a change. So the new name of the podcast is going to be The Best You've Ever Been. The Best You've Ever Been. And we're going to talk more about that. And I'm going to seek to bring you, really the action steps, the habits that I work with my clients on. Notice that every episode of this podcast is really a lesson or a habit that I've been working with a client to adopt. So if you're really interested in being the best you've ever been, if you're interested in creating your future self, I didn't want to call the podcast Creating Your Future Self, because there are a lot of future self titles out there already. I don't want to be just another one of them. But really, it's about creating your future self. Being the best you've ever been is about creating your future self. So in creating your future self, right, physically, well, you want to look good naked. You want to get your sexy back. Mentally, you want to be able to take charge of your mind, recruit your brain to help you to create empowering habits. These are non-negotiable habits, and these are the habits of your future self. Emotionally, you want to feel whole and complete as opposed to broken and emotionally damaged, as many people I work with when they come to me, that's the way they feel. And spiritually, you seek connection, right? You seek purpose and meaning. Spirituality is about connection, purpose, and meaning with something greater than ourselves. So that's what it means to be the best you've ever been. And that's really what I've been working with people to do, to create their best selves, to create their future self. And creating your future self, working to create your future self, is working to be the best you've ever been. So that's what the podcast is about. And that's why I'm changing the title of the podcast. I'll still will be here every week giving you the tools, the habits of your future self, the habits that we have to work on adopting in order to become the best you've ever been, in order to create that future self that you seek to create, right? To develop the habits of your future self. That's what it means to work on becoming the best you've ever been. Work on creating or adopting the habits of your future self. So, yes, my friends, it's time for a change. It is the end of November 2022, and is it time for a change for you? Think about it. How long have you been telling yourself that you want to accomplish something? Just, I think back to the beginning of this year when I started this year, and all the women I've spoken with every week. I speak with dozens of people, and they tell me all the things they want. They tell me how badly they want to create that future self, how badly they want to create the best version of themselves. And unfortunately, the vast majority of them are still, when I reach out to people months later, the vast majority of them are still exactly where they were months and months ago. The vast majority of them, unfortunately, is still exactly where they were at the beginning of this year. And that's unfortunate. And why is that the case? That is the case because they don't realize that it's time for a change. They tell themselves they want to change, but they're not willing to change. They're not willing to do what it takes to change, right? If what you're doing isn't working, then change it. Don't just tell yourself that you're going to change it. But how can you change it? Well, you start where you are now. You start now. Don't keep telling yourself, oh, this isn't the right time. There will never be a right time. And that's what a lot of people do. They tell themselves, this isn't the right time. Oh, I'm too busy. I've got so many projects. Do you know how many people I talk to? And I keep hearing, oh, I've got so many projects going on. Oh, I've got this going on at work and I'm so overcommitted. But who cares? What's going to change? Nothing is going to change until you change, right? You're always going to be overcommitted. You're always going to be overstressed until you change. So if it's not working, change it. Don't wait for tomorrow, next week, next month, next year to change it. Change it now. Start making small changes now. And that's the problem I find that a lot of people have, is that they think that they have to do big things in order to change. They have to change up everything. It's an all or nothing mentality, but that is so erroneous, right? That is not the case. You start with one small thing this week. One small thing. What is one change you can make that will make a big difference? Just one change. And by changing one thing, next week maybe go for something else. And then be consistent with the change you make, right? Practice, practice, practice. And keep going at it until you're able to do it consistently. Every day you're doing it consistently. You make one small change. That's how we change. We don't change up everything all at once. No, it doesn't work, right? That's why people lose weight and regain more weight than they've lost, because they try to do all or nothing, right? They try to do big things, and then what happens? Your brain rebels against you and forces you to regain the weight back. So or whatever change you're making, if you try to change up everything all at once, that's too much. You want to always think about making small changes. And that's how you go about the process of creating transformation, because transformation is nothing more than a whole bunch of small changes add up, and they have a compounding effect, right? So success is nothing more than consistency over time. You make a small change and you're able to remain consistent with that over time, and you become successful at whatever you're doing, whatever it is that you're working at. So that is the process of creating change, folks. When it's time for a change, don't tell yourself, oh, I'm not ready, because you'll never be ready. Begin before you're ready. That's going to be the title of a future episode. Begin before you're ready, because you'll never be ready. There's never the right time. There's never a right time. The right time is always now, before you're ready. Even if you're not ready, the time is now. If you want something badly enough, start now. Make one change now. What change can you make? The time for change is now. So make one small change. Don't wait to change up big things. If you're trying to change your body, well, don't wait for the new year to make a New Year's resolution. It's November. It's okay. Thanksgiving is gone, and whatever you've done, okay, that's gone. Forget about it. You have another month until the new year. So why sit around and wait? Oh, I'll start in the new year. Well, what can you do now? You're eating every day. Well, certainly you can change up your eating habits. You can make one small change to your eating. You're sleeping every night. Well, certainly you can make a change to your sleeping, right? You have a body. Certainly you can make a change to how you use that body, how much you move, the quality of your movement. Certainly you can make a small change to how you deal with the stressors in your life, right? You're experiencing them every day. So why wait? Right? You can make a small change to the way you eat, the way you move, the way you sleep, the quality of your sleep, and how you deal with the stressors in your life, right? Eat, move, sleep, live. Those are the 4 quadrants of creating the lifestyle of your future self. And in so doing, becoming the best you've ever been. But you're not going to get there by putting it off till next year, next month. You're not going to get there by telling yourself, oh, I'm too busy now. You're not going to get there by telling yourself, I'm overcommitted, I've got too many things going on. Because you're doing the same things that you've always been doing, when in reality, you could be making small changes right now. It doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter what you've got going on. You could be making small changes. What if you were to learn my conscious eating method? Right? And you're eating every day. What if you were to put that into effect? Right? What difference could that make in the next month? So why sit around and wait for next year when, if you're trying to lose weight, you could lose weight between now and the new year. You could develop some new habits that in the next month will take you so much further along than where you are now. So that you don't have to sit around and wait to make New Year's resolutions. Forget about New Year's resolutions. Think about making small changes now. The time for change is now, folks. The time for change is now. Whatever you're trying to do, the time for change is now. What one small thing you can change that will make a difference in you, in what you're trying to do, in helping you to become the best you have ever been, the best you've ever been. Helping you create your future self now. So think about that. All right, I'm going to keep this short. That's all I've got for you. So the next episode of this podcast will be called The Best You've Ever Been. The Best You've Ever Been. No longer Energize Your Life After 50. And, I came up with the title Energize Your Life because it was the title of my last book. And I started podcasting a few years back in 2016 when I published my last book, Energize Your Life, and it was really about, the 7 pillars of positive energy that make you feel alive, right? How do you activate those 7 pillars of positive energy that makes you feel alive? And I started the podcast around the book, and I've come to realize that, well, that title doesn't really do justice anymore. It doesn't really capture the essence of what I am teaching here and what I'm communicating, what I'm sharing with you anymore. So it's time for a change. So we make change. So I hope you feel the same way when it's time for a change. Well, make a change, okay? All right, that's all I've got for you. I will catch you next time. And in the meantime, may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Take care now.